Anne Williams relaxes at home with grandson Finlay, who celebrated his 4th birthday on September the 12th, the same day the Hillsborough Independent panel released its report.
Did you see any of Kevin in Finlay?
Yeah. A lot of Kevin in Finlay.
What sort of things especially remind you?
Sometimes
Temper.
He's clever and he's very loving, like Kevin was. And you know, you'll get that glimpse sometimes, he'll give you that look and you think, oh my God, that's Kevin. Very like him.
But tell us about Kevin the lad. And,
he was clever.
Yeah.
And he loved studying. And he lived for his football, really. That was his sort of hobby. But he studied hard. He liked school. That was the funny thing about it. And we knew he was doing well, because he just sort of enjoyed it. And the teachers always told me that every time they saw Kevin in the playground, he was kicking a football around. He used to wear the toe out of his right shoe all the time, you know, I was always buying him new shoes. I always did it for Kev. Well, obviously, well, not Kev and the 95, but I knew Kevin would have gone mad over the injustice. He hated anything like that. I remember him coming home from school one day and he'd been arguing with a boy at school over where some place was in geography. And he said, can I use the phone, Mum? And he rang, he got the encyclopedias out, checked it, he said, I knew I was right. And he rang his mate up to tell him, you know, whichever country, he said, you were wrong and I was right. I wasn't well, and before I knew what was wrong with me. And it was an effort to get there, really. But I think I lived on the adrenaline that day. I think it was the adrenaline, just when I walked out in that crowd, couldn't believe it. And I thought the report was excellent. And the only thing that did shock me was that we always knew others could have been saved. That the amount, 41, that was quite a shock. Because I knew by the inquest and the 6 judicial review families that others, like Kevin, could have been saved.
How are you doing today? What the doctors said about you and your condition? How are things?
I'm just like taking each day as it comes. Some are good, some are bad. Tired. Being well looked after by my brother and his wife.
How much of a comfort is it for you to know that there's people like Sheila and countless people around who've been moved by your story for many years and will continue your fight for as long as it takes?
I'm really appreciative of it. I mean, people don't understand the work that Sheila Coleman's put in. She started the research of Hillsborough, and then HJC supported every memorial that I submitted, except for the last one, obviously. And I worked very closely. It was just when I went into York, it seemed to drift. But they've done so much for the families, the survivors, and given up our own time, and Anne Adlington as well, from Liverpool City Council. It wasn't just a case of helping the families. They spent evenings, if a survivor was struggling, Sheila would go out and talk to them and help them. So they've given 24/7, really, they've given their lives up, really, to help the Hillsborough families. I did look after myself. I mean, Hillsborough became part of my life, and it wasn't all doom and gloom. I've met so many people, and if I got Kevin submitted, I've always had him in a legal avenue for 23 years, and once I got him in the legal avenue, I think, right, that's it now. Go on with my life for a bit and sit back and wait for the answer, the refusal or whatever I was going to get, and I carried on with my life. And then if something broke out on Hillsborough, I'd be there. But it just became part of my life. But it became part where I used to like going to places if anyone wanted to speak about Hillsborough. I was glad because I thought, we're getting the truth out. You're fighting against the government to get the truth out. And I used to think, they're wearing me down, but I used to always think, I'll wear them down before they'll wear me down. That was my attitude, because I'm right and you're wrong. And I knew I was right. And the people of Liverpool, and all over the country, have been so generous. They care. There's a lot of people out there that care for those 96. You know, there's you know, you get the bad few, you know, that don't, you know, hear the rumours, but there's a lot of care out there. And you know, I even know by when my book and the letters I got off mothers, they actually adopted Kevin. Because, you know, one woman was staying in my locker, you know, and I had some lovely, lovely letters, you know, from mothers that had read the book and that. So there are a lot of people that care. And a lot of people know the truth, and they know it's a cover-up. And it's just, like I say, getting the wheels in motion for the government to sit up and do something about it.